Hello, everyone. Episode 19, Thrillers Global Podcast. I'm your host, CJ. Thanks for joining. Alongside me, co-host Chrisos and Liam. Boys, how are we?
Hi, CJ.
Absolutely buzzing with the
Buzzing.
big interview that we've got going on today.
The comments have
stream,
the comments have streamed in. Mavros Productions as well. Thank you.
No worries.
We do have
Got
to
it,
thank
a shout
Christos
out
for
here.
organising this interview. Good stuff, mate.
No worries, boys. Anytime.
Thank you, Chrisos. Now, as we know, today's a big episode for us. Big episode for... just very excited. I'm not too sure what to say. As you all know, through social media and whatnot, yes, Matt Derbyshire is in the studio. He's ready to join. Everyone's excited. So no more babbling. Let's get on. Matt Derbyshire, everyone.
Welcome, Matt.
Yeah.
Big round of applause. Here he is.
How's England? How's the weather over there?
Freezing, mate. I've just been to my son's football match and I was shaking on the sides, mate. So yeah, I'm missing the weather. I'll tell you that.
That's good. That's good. Alrighty. How did he go? All good.
Sorry, say it again.
Did he win? How'd it go? How did he go?
Yes, they won 5-3. He scored 5. So yeah,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Future ex-olympiakos number 9. Future ex-olympiakos number 9. Yeah.
You never know, right? You never know.
Alrighty. So I reckon we'll just get straight into it. Matt, once again, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us. As you know, we're big Olympiakos fans from Australia. We do have many memories of you at your time at Olympiakos. Before we get into all the Olympiakos stuff, we just want to get to know you a bit more on a personal level. So Matt, when you were growing up, who were some of your idols?
I'm a Blackburn Rovers fan.
Wow.
So it would have been Alan Shearer, Chris Sutton, the Premier League winning team sort of thing, and then obviously, carried that on through watching them, and so yeah, obviously your two guys and people who eventually I got to play with.
Yeah, that must have been a dream come true for you, and they sort of inspired you to start playing football as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was just a fan, mate. I never really ever thought I was going to make it to where I made it. But fortunately, we moved to an area where there was a very, very big football pitch, and there was a lot of people always playing on that pitch. So I could see the pitch, straight out my window, and that kind of led me to where I am now.
Nice.
Now, Matt, I believe your first club was Great Harwood Town. Is that correct?
No, it was actually Darwin FC.
Oh, okay. Would you like to tell us a bit about your first club and also Great Harwood Town?
Yeah, then obviously we all moved there because the ladies' football was taken on as a bigger project at the time there. So we all moved. The whole team moved to Great Harwood Town, and from there, obviously ended up moving to the first team, which was at like a Northwest Counties, like a semi-professional level. But people were still on contracts and getting paid very small amounts. But it was a massive learning curve for me being at that club.
Well,
And then how did that turn into Blackburn Rovers? So how did they approach you playing at a club like Hardwood Town? How did Blackburn come in and say, "Oh, we want to sign Derbyshire"?
Well, it was just. I mean, it was a men's league, and it was like, I think, what is it, four, maybe 6 leagues off being in the professional league 2. So would get pretty 100, 200 fans every game, and the word would get around because I'd be scoring goals. I was very young. I was 16, playing against fully grown men, and I just went on a really, really, really good scoring thing. I think I scored, I don't know, like 30 in let's say 10, 15 games. It was ridiculous. And then obviously scouts started to come watching, like 2 divisions up, 3 divisions up, 4 divisions up. And then all of a sudden you've got Man United coming in, Everton coming in, and Liverpool and all these sort of clubs. And I was like, wow, Burnley, and I was meeting the likes of David Moyes at Everton, and then all of a sudden Blackburn came in, mate. And at the time, I was already working for Blackburn Rovers. I was working for them, coaching kids football in the community. So obviously, they didn't really know I was under the nose at the time. And then obviously got to sign for my boyhood club, which I automatically went, yep, I'll sign for you straight away, you know, instead of any of these other clubs.
No. How did do you remember your debut for Blackburn Rovers? How did that go down?
Like a shit sandwich, mate. No, I remember coming on. It was a dream come true, mate. I remember coming. I was against Fulham. I don't remember the years now because I think I've added too many balls. But I've run into the corner at home at Ewood Park, and you remember the defender Zach Knight, a big fella. He'd come right across me and just smash me, you know, right in my leg. I've just got a big dead leg, and them dead legs are the worst, mate. You can do nothing about them. It was about 10 minutes to go, and I was hobbling around, but there was no way I was coming off, mate. But yeah, it wasn't the best, but it was amazing, but not the best, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's all right. So just during your time contracted to Blackburn Rovers, you had a loan spell at Olympiakos. How did that move happen? So did Blackburn come to you saying, "Hey, Olympiakos are knocking at the door," or what happened there?
So at the time, Mark Hughes had left. Paul Ince came in for a few months. I was doing well under him, and then all of a sudden, you know, I was playing under Mark Hughes, playing under the Paul Ince, and all of a sudden, Sam Allardyce came in, and I knew I wasn't going to play, mate. But I give it 5-6 games, and then obviously, being a footballer, you want to play football. That's why you're in the game, just to play football, you know. And I knocked on the manager's door and said, "Listen, I want to go on loan." And then obviously, you know, there was a few clubs sniffing around, like Fulham and people like that, Brighton. But we actually had a Greek agent, part of my agency that I was with at the time, and it was called Sakis, and he's took quite a few players to Olympiakos. And he said, "Would I be interested in going to play for them?" Now, bear in mind, I think the season before, pre-season, we played against Olympiakos in pre-season, like a pre-season friendly, and Olympiakos battered Blackburn 5-0.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, absolutely, you know, because I remember how good they were. They were Ronaldo in the middle. I was like, 100%. You know, I never even thought about it being a different country or whatever. I thought, yeah, massive club. I think there was about 200-300 fans there as well. It was in Austria or Germany, one of the two, and I thought, this is a mental club. I'm going there. Absolutely going. And that was it.
Yeah.
See the gaffer.
Were you anxious?
No.
Were you anxious about going to Greece at all, or no?
Not at all. I didn't even think about it. I thought, why not? You know, it's life's short, the career's short. Let's go and do it. Because in the back of your mind, when you're that young, you go, I'm in the Premier League. It can't be that hard being in Greece. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because you do, you know, you're young and you're full of, you know, you think you're better than you are and what have you. But yeah, it was an eye opener. But what
we have to ask you, Matt. You obviously play with some big names like Jabul, Mitroglou. Who impressed you the most at Olympiakos at your time there, like at the start?
I always got on with the God. I mean, obviously Dudu. I got on with Dudu, Diogo. I mean, Jolly was the one for me, mate. He really took me under his wing. You know, it was really good with me, and I still speak to him now. You know, he's a massive legend at that club, massive. And you know, being a young boy going in that dressing room and seeing someone like that, and him taking you under his wing and being very, very good with you when, you know, people were scared to even look at him in the dressing room. Do you know what I mean? It was very nice.
So just before your move to Olympiakos, did you have much contact with any of the management there, or was it just all through agents until you got there?
Yeah, just agents, mate. It was just agents. Yeah, I remember it literally happened like that, mate. It was so quick.
Yeah.
As it does, you know, in every club I've been at, it's just unless you really want something to happen, it never happens quick. you know, when it's like out of the blue, it's bang, you know, it's done. But no, I had no contact. I had no contact with Mr. Valverde. I just had literally agents to me. Sorry, the club, the agent, me, and then I was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember your debut and your first goal?
I remember my debut. Yeah, I remember being away at PAOK Thessaloniki, and it was a wet, horrible pitch. And I think it might have been a 1-1 or a 2-2.
It's still horrible there.
Yeah. And I actually, do you know what, mate? I actually remember being on the pitch, and it was a massive schoolboy error from me, mate. And I was only younger, and I'd got my phone out, and I'd gone like this, you know, because it was mental. Like, you know, in England, it's not like that.
Yeah,
it's not like that, you know, it's clapping. And I got my phone out, and I videoed them, and I got so much abuse from the Olympiakos fans. But I'm glad that happened, because it made me realise straight away, right, I know what I need to do here. You know, I need to. You can't be doing that. Olympiakos is the biggest club in Greece. You know what I mean? So I need to realise that, and it taught me straight away. It was a massive eye opener. But then obviously, you know, going on from that was things started to go very well.
So, do you remember much about the first day walking into the training session? Like, do you remember who approached you first, or if you approached anyone?
I do actually, mate. I remember going in. I mean, obviously meeting. You know, you meet the kit men and stuff first. They give you your kit, and you know, they show you where your locker is and stuff like that. And them faces are still there now, because I went back a couple of years ago to play a friendly pre-season friendly game there, and you know, you still see them faces, which is great. Even the dinner, you know, the lunch ladies, the dinner ladies, whatever you call them. You know, the chefs and stuff are still there. It's great. But I actually remember, I think it might have been until I scored my first goal against PAOK in the Karaiskaki Stadium, no one really spoke to me, mate.
Wow.
You know, because you get like, and I get it now. I get why, because I feel like, you know, you're coming from a different country. People might think, oh, turista, you know, he's coming to have a good time. You know, I get that, because I've played abroad a lot now. And I've been in the dressing room where I've actually seen people that have come in and not wanted to play for the club, really just there for a holiday, you know what I mean? But I was, you know, as soon as they saw, I think it was when I scored my first goal, and they saw how much I wanted to do well at the club. Then obviously, like, people started speaking English, and I was like, right, okay. So you did speak English all along, mate.
Matt, you mentioned the atmosphere before and how it was a big change from England. We like to think that Olympiakos has got one of the best atmospheres in the world. How highly did you rate it being on the pitch? Because obviously we're from Australia, we haven't been to many games overseas in Greece. And how important was the atmosphere for you in those like really important derbies against Panathinaikos, PAOK, like you said?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it, mate. And you can, and I still, to this day, I still show friends of mine and players or anyone who will listen to me, to be honest with you, about the atmosphere, and I show them videos. I mean, I have videos from what I've recorded off my, you know, camcorder, and it's mad, mate. When we won the league, and I've never come across anything like it since, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been at clubs where the fans have been amazing, but there's just some extra when you go to the Karaiskaki, especially on the Champions League nights.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah,
it looks unreal. I really want to go to a big game like that at Karaiskaki.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, mate.
Got another one here. Matt, what are your thoughts on the way that the clubs run? Was there a close community, like sort of feeling, or were there good processes in place to support players and staff?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, obviously the first president, when I went there, he was always around the players. Always, you know, the president's coming, and have his 20 bodyguards and his Mercedes. You know, and even Marinakis now, it was always there, always around the players. You know, very friendly, very talkative. There was obviously people upstairs in the office if you've got any problems. on the training ground. Anything you needed, if, like I said to you, even in the kitchen, whatever you needed, it was perfectly run, mate.
Yeah, so they sounded like they were pretty approachable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about, obviously, when my time there was Mr. Valverde and, you know, other managers which we won't mention. But I mean, you know, look what he went on to do, you know, and he was so good to talk to, and like, I think I spoke to him a couple of months ago, you know, and still now I know I could pick the phone up to him and say, listen, I've got a problem, or have you got 10 minutes to have a chat? And he'd be there, you know, he'd be there for you because you did well for him, you played for him, and you respected him, you know. So yeah, it's always good to have that communication there.
Now that you mentioned managers, I know you were there when Ernesto Valverde was, but you might have to remind me, was it also Daki Lemonis was at the club as well?
Yep.
Yeah. He had a bit of a look. I think manager-wise, he had a really rocky start, but he eventually became a bit of a legend. But
no,
yeah.
sorry, I'm wrong there. I was actually thinking of I was thinking of somebody else. No, he was there before I came. Sorry. So yeah, he wasn't there when I was there. Sorry. But yeah, I thought he was going to mention somebody else.
Didn't look too happy about it either.
Yeah. Oh no, do you know what? Like, me and Timor, we had a bit of a falling out. But that's football for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously we've come across each other now. We come across each other in the airport. I'm sure about when, you know, I think that he left the club, and I think about a week later I saw him in the airport, and he was fantastic, mate. He's actually such a really, really, really nice guy, you know, off the field. Like, I mean, everyone has their own coaching ways, and I'm sure I've heard he's changed a hell of a lot since his younger days, and he's a lot more calmer now on the sidelines and in the dressing room. But you know, I was only young, and I think I didn't know how to handle that sort of aggression towards me. So yeah, we had a bit of a falling out, but it happens, you know. It happens, and we're friends now, and you know, everything's been swept under the carpet. Yeah.
So at your time, because I know you were loaned there first, but around that period, you played in in my opinion, one of the best Olympiakos teams in recent history. So you played with legends like Galletti, Djordjevic, maybe Kovacevic. I'm not too sure.
It was my roomie.
Yeah, well, there you go. Dudu as well that you mentioned. Out of the whole squad, who was the real, like, who was the guy, the locker room guy?
Jolie.
Yeah.
He just has a presence about him. You know, yeah. I mean, and I played with him in his last season as well. So obviously you can imagine how good he actually was, and he was still amazing.
He was there for a long time
in his last season when I was playing with him, and I begged him not to leave. I begged him. You've got more life in you, because I knew I was going to sign for the club. But no, he had such an aura around the dressing room. He was well respected. After dinner, you know, he'd be like the Godfather at the end of the table. You know, everyone's finished. Yeah. Jolie, you can go, and that was it. Everyone left. You know.
Yeah.
But no, such a very humble guy as well with it. But yeah, he had that presence about him.
What about Nico Polidis? Because he's a club legend. We love him.
Absolute legend.
Yeah.
No, he's a fantastic guy. And like, honest to God, man, I still speak to these guys now, you know, through social media. You know, when they put pictures up, we always message back and forth and what have you. But he was brilliant, mate. The one thing I can remember about him is he never took he took everything with a little pinch of salt. You know, because there's a lot of banter flying around the dressing room, and he was obviously had an older head on his shoulders as well. But it was just so easy going, and I think his personality being like that, you could see in the obviously he won a lot of trophies as well at Olympiakos, but you could see in the cup final when he took the last penalty how laid back he was, mate. just stroked it home, didn't he, to the keeper's
Yeah.
right, and and that's it, done.
Got some
final in the
yeah.
pocket, mate. Brilliant.
You got some admirers here, Matt.
Really?
Long
It's not my mum, is it?
Now, speaking of that final, you've had some marquee moments during your time at Olympiakos, and that includes your 2 goals in the cup final against AEK. You scored a few minutes after coming on from halftime. However, in the 6 minute of stoppage time, you scored with the last touch of the game. Is it true you had a concussion at that time? And only, you only realized you scored because the fans were going mental.
Yeah, no, it was just it was a strange. I mean, I remember. I think I've said this before. It happened, and then the ball got rolled back, and it got pumped long. A flick on by Diogo, and then I just leapt, scored, and then lost my mind. And then when it all calmed down, I literally I couldn't walk, mate. I remember who's the left back? Didier Domi, I think it was.
Domi, yeah.
Yeah, I think someone played him the ball, and he obviously gone to hit it down the channel. And when the ball was coming to him, I saw 3 of him. It was, and I've never had concussion before that or after it. That was the one and only time, touch wood, I've had that. But yeah, I literally saw 3 footballs and 3 Didier's. It was crazy. So I was like, right, that's enough for me. I have to get off here because I actually can't see anything. So yeah, obviously went off, and then thankfully the lads won it in the end.
That's got to be one of the best matches you've ever played in, surely. That was just insane with the penalty shootout, the goalkeepers taking the penalties.
Oh, it was brilliant, mate. It just went round and round and round and round.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And I believe Nico Politis, talking to him, scored an absolute banger in the penalty shootout, didn't he?
Who's that?
Or did he miss? No, he scored the winner.
Yeah.
Who's that, sorry?
Nico Politis, the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he scored the winner, mate. He scored.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. He's just so calm and collected, and he scored the winner, and off he went, mate.
We need to talk about who gave you that nickname, the English Killer. And first of all, do you even like that nickname? How did that come to be?
Yeah, it's not like I've actually murdered people, mate. Let's get it right. I think it's just the fans. It's like, you know, when the ball's in the box, he puts it, you know, he kills it. That's it done, you know. But yeah, it was nice, mate. It's always good to have good nicknames, and you know, it could be called worst names, but yeah, it's great to be appreciated from the fans. Is always a nice thing.
With just back to the cup final. Now, obviously, it was a hectic game. What was, first of all, I might be wrong, was Lemoni the coach at the time?
In the cup final?
Yeah.
No, Mr. Valverde.
It was Valverde.
Is this guy an Olympiakos fan or what? Is he?
It was a while ago. What was kind of said at half time and full time, especially that, you know, the score's been, you know, tied?
I honestly, I can't remember what had been said, but I know going into the dressing room, you could sense. I mean, I think Darko Kovacevic came in as well, and you never really saw him around the training ground unless it was, you know, it was needed really, because obviously he had his troubles and stuff. But he was in there, and you know, you could see it was very serious. But you could see also there was a relaxed thing. It was quite relaxed in there as well, because I'm sure being, you know, a massive club like Olympiakos have been in this sort of situation before, and they've clawed their way back out of it. So, and then they all knew we had great players in that dressing room. So there was obviously a bit of anxiousness there, and but a little bit of confidence as well. And yeah, it showed towards obviously the back end of the game. Well, it didn't actually, because we scored and they scored again, didn't they? So yeah, it was a crazy final.
We got a question here, Matt, from Thomas. Thoughts on Olympiakos versus Milan Europa League 2018? I don't know if you've really followed them much. Do you remember that game at all?
I don't remember that game, no, mate. But I do follow them. I absolutely follow them all the time, mate. Yeah, but
Oh, beautiful. Doesn't matter. Basically, Olympiakos beat Milan 3-1. They had to win by 2 goals to get out of the group stage. But yeah. I know Liam has a question for you. Oh,
Hi, there we go.
technical difficulty. That's all right.
Yeah.
I know Liam has a question for you, but before we do that, I just want to play this video for everyone.
Για τον Κογκολέζο, ο οποίος θα σεντράρει με φάλτσο. Ντάρμπισιρ ο Τζόρβας, ο Ντάρμπισιρ γκολ για τον Ολυμπιακό. 0-1 με τον Άγγλο που παγώνει το Ολυμπιακό στάδιο. Στο 67ο λεπτό ο Ολυμπιακός παίρνει προβάδισμα. Οι παίκτες του Παναθηναϊκού δείχνουν να μην μπορούν να το πιστέψουν. Ο Τζόρβας είπε στην αρχή όχι, η μπάλα επανήλθε όμως στον Άγγλο και αυτός την έστειλε στα δίχτυα, παγώνοντας το Ολυμπιακό στάδιο. Και ο Τζόρβας και ο Βίτρα και ο Ζιλμπέρτο Σίλβα δείχνουν να μην μπορούν να πιστέψουν τι έγινε. Εδώ με φάλτσο η σέντρα από τον Λούα Λούα κερδίζει τον Βίτρα στον αέρα. Ο Ντάρμπισιρ και στη συνέχεια έχει εύκολο έργο για το 0-1 με τον Ολυμπιακό να είναι θεατής στα περισσότερα λεπτά του παιχνιδιού, να κάνει τις ευκαιρίες ο Παναθηναϊκός, αλλά να ισχύει ο άγραφος νόμος του ποδοσφαίρου. Κάρτα στον Ντάρμπισιρ για τον πανηγυρισμό του.
Still makes us smile.
Obviously, everyone remembers you for that goal, Matt, and you scored some big goals for the club. But obviously, that one was one of the biggest goals you scored. Would you say that was your favorite goal you scored for Olympiakos? And what was like running through your head as obviously Jorvas mishandled the ball and it came straight to run us through the goal a bit?
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember, obviously, Lua Lua is a fantastic player. He can put a ball in from anywhere and he can dribble past 10 players. So, when he got in them positions, I always knew it, especially in the dying minutes, he always, delivers. So, I put myself in a position to try and get on the end of something. And luckily it fell to me, mate. And it fell to me just across my old friend, Lucas Vidra as well.
Yeah.
Who ended up playing alongside a few years later. I talked to him about that goal. But no, it was great. And I never even thought of any celebration, mate. I just remember scoring. It went so quiet. And it was just a reaction, mate. It was just a reaction to go like, I went like this. And that was,
yeah.
And to be honest with you, that stuck for years and years and years. And I remember going back and I was playing for a monitor at the time, and we used to play Panathinaikos in every pre-season, mate, for some reason, because I think Nikos Dabizas was the technical director of our club, Amoni, at the time.
Yep.
So he organised them games with Panathinaikos, and I remember there's a lot of Panathinaikos fans in Cyprus as well, and I remember saying, right, if I score, I'm going to do that again.
There's actually a clip of that on YouTube.
I scored, mate, the first year, and I ran off like this. And they took it well, the Cypriot Panathinaikos fans took it very well. And then I did it again the year after and did it again. But, afterwards in the interviews and stuff, it's a bit of fun, mate. It's a bit of fun.
You're taking a bit of a risk doing that to those fans.
No. At the time, it wasn't fun. It was great to do that. But obviously, 2 games in the friendly, just a bit of fun. And, it was great. It was fantastic, mate.
We've got to say, you're an absolute Olympiakos legend. We loved your time at Olympiakos. And now that you mentioned Omonia, I believe Christos has some questions to ask you, as he's a big fan of Cypriot football.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, before we get into that, Matt, I thought we'd play a little bit of a game just to have a little bit of a ease. So this is your 5-a-side team, Derbyshire FC. You've got to pick 5 players. You can include yourself if you want, with players you've played with and against. Who are you putting in your 5-a-side team?
Just in Cyprus or
anywhere? Like anywhere you play. Anywhere you play. Yeah.
Gosh, anywhere and against.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, yeah.
Wow, is that you're asking some question there, mate?
Yeah.
Well, I'm putting myself straight on the bench, mate. It's got to be. I'd say Van der Sar.
Wow.
No, I'm gonna say Brad Friedel, mate, because I played with him.
Is that the goalkeeper? Yeah.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Yeah, American goalkeeper.
Played at Spurs as well.
Amazing goalkeeper. I'm gonna go with God Almighty, mate. It's hard to pick, mate, because if I leave
maybe
one
players you've
out, the
played
other one's
with.
going to text me and kill me.
Narrow
So
it, yeah.
Okay, you can do players that you
But
play
that's
with.
the
Make it
that's the
easier.
hardest bit, mate. Because if I leave the other ones out, that's what I'm trying to say to you. If I leave the ones that I play, bloody hell. Well, let's go Ronaldo, Paul Scholes. Jesus, that's 3. God, let's put two guy in
Thanks,
there.
Liam, for the comment.
Two guy was amazing, and God Almighty, Robbie Fowler, Benny McCarthy, Rocky Sonic. I don't know, mate. There's so many.
List goes on.
Yeah,
That's solid. That's solid regardless. Like you put that in any five-a-side team, and it's not losing a game. So I think that's solid regardless.
Oh, there's no chance, mate. No chance.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we'll talk about Cyprus now and Omonia, because as you know, big Cypriot football fan. So your honest thoughts on Cyprus as a nation, like when you first touched down and after your years in Cyprus, your honest thoughts on Cyprus.
Well, when I got the phone call, mate, about going to Omonia, I was like, honestly, I didn't know a lot about Cypriot football. I'll be genuinely honest with you, mate. And then obviously when I touched down, it was crazy because it felt like I was at home again. It felt like I was in Greece because there's so many, all the Cypriot fans would watch or would have a club in Greece, whether it be AEK, PAOK, Olympiakos, Panathinaikos. So it's like they already knew me. It's like they already knew exactly what I could do. So it was like, he's part of our team. It's great. Everything's going to be great. But yeah, I actually love Cyprus, mate. And I'll probably end up retiring out there in Cyprus and living there with my wife.
Yeah, exclusive we got.
Yeah, well, yeah. I love the place, mate. I've made so many happy memories there, and there's a few bad memories as well. But more happy memories than not. And I've got so many good friends out there as well. Yeah, just love the place, mate.
Yeah,
Speaking of which, oh, sorry, Chris. I was just going to say.
CJ, go. No, go.
At your time at Omonia, you bloody killed it. 2 seasons with 30 odd goals.
Yeah, I did okay, mate. I did well.
Yeah.
I think it was 27 league goals in my first one, 24 in the second league campaign. The third one was an absolute disaster. To be quite honest with you. For one reason or another, we won't go into that. But and then obviously, Henning Berg came in and kind of turned the club around, mate, and made us into a proper team. Obviously, we had the backing and the investment as well before, because obviously when John Carver signed me, for me, John Carver was amazing. I couldn't say a bad word about him. He's fun. I still speak to him now. I've been out with him since last summer. He was amazing for me, because without him being there at that time, I wouldn't have done as well as I did. It was a bit of a father figure for most players, actually. And if you ask anyone that's had him, whether they played or they didn't play, they would say, fantastic, mate. Great coach, good manager. He just didn't have the backing, didn't have the funds, Same with Nikos Dabizas, he didn't have enough behind him to do what he needed to do. But then obviously when we got the backing, Henning Berg came in and, completely transformed the club.
I was going to ask, so what is the main difference between Cypriot football and English football?
I think the speed of it. I think, the tempo of the game, the speed of the game, the physicality of the game. But I mean, in Cyprus, it surprised a lot of people, mate. It surprised me as well. How good it actually is. Technically, it's unbelievable. You see some players out there, you think, how are you playing out here, mate? Fantastic. You should be. Because at the time I was 30 when I went there, but there's just you know, you got some young players out there. You think, wow, you're gonna have a great career, you know. But for me, very competitive league.
So what was the main lifestyle difference you think between Cyprus and UK?
So say it again.
The main lifestyle difference between Cyprus and the UK?
Well, you got a massive thing in the sky, mate, that keeps you warm all the time. sandy beaches. How genuinely lovely the people are towards you, whether they are Olympiakos, an Ammonia fan or an Apoel fan, whatever. You know, it was quite respectful towards me that ways. But no, mate, listen, I'm from Blackburn, and I hate the cold. I love the weather now. But hence the reason why I'll be back out there maybe in a couple of years, and living in Cyprus, mate, you know, we'll see.
So what was your go-to beach when you were living in Cyprus that you would always go to on those summer days?
My go-to place when we had a day off was always Paphos, mate. I love Paphos.
Yeah.
I've got, you know, one of my best friends lives in Paphos. So we always went down that way, and amazing place.
So how's your Greek then? If you're thinking about retiring in Cyprus, how's your Greek then?
Well, it's, to be honest with you, mate, it's not great. I can get by. But my wife actually put on the social medias yesterday that we're looking to get a Greek teacher. So if you know anyone, guys, give us a shout.
Matt, I can be your Greek teacher. I generally can. If you want me to do it, I can do it. I can teach you the Cypriot slang as well. Anything you want.
Yeah, that could be a problem, the Cypriot slang, mate. But no, we're genuinely looking for, you know, to learn it, because I think, you know, in the future I'll need it, because, you know, I want to go into coaching, and I would love to one day go out there and take charge of a club. But I do want to start from the bottom. I do want to learn my trade. I want to learn how to handle a team, not just myself, how to handle personalities, how to handle an environment, how to handle upstairs in the boardroom. You know, that's very important. So I really want to learn as much as I can.
And what was the appeal to join Ammonia? Did Olympiakos have anything to play with that, or like what was the main reason that you wanted to get Ammonia?
It wasn't. It was basically, mate. It was. I said to my agent, I turned 30, and I've been playing 50-odd games a season, and I'm 30 years old. And I said, listen, if I want longevity out of the game, I need to go abroad. And I decided that, I think in 2016, I think it was, I spoke to my agent and said, listen, I'm looking for a club in Europe. You know, can you find me one? It actually took a while. It was the same agent that took me to Olympiakos as well. And then, Ammonia popped up. Like I said, didn't know much about Cypriot football. I knew about Ammonia because I think Loa, who was at Olympiakos, went to Ammonia. And Pat Douglas, I think, as well, he went there. So I knew of the name. I knew a bit how much of a big club it was. So, yeah.
What was your favourite stadium? And still is your favourite stadium to play at when you played in Cyprus?
The Gassi B, mate. Come on.
Yeah. I just have to ask, but yeah. What do you think about the gap between the fans and the players? Have you seen? There's a video where a player scored and he fell through the gap because he didn't know the gap was there.
That was fantastic, mate. I'm surprised I didn't break his back or something. Yeah, but no, it's okay. I mean, it's not. You know, it's not a big gap, so the fans aren't too far away from you. It's not like there's a running track around it, so it's actually perfect. Yeah.
So now again, just to like break the ice a bit, I'm gonna ask you some would you rather questions, rapid fire, just quick rapid fire would you rather questions. So would you rather win the Champions League or win the World Cup?
World Cup.
Yeah, beautiful. Score a last minute winner or score 5 goals in one game?
Oh wow! But in the five, do we win the game? Do we win the game?
Yeah. You still win the game, yeah.
5 goals, mate.
This one's going to be a tough one, I think, for you. The Karaiskaki Stadium or the Hasabi Stadium?
The what? Sorry.
The Karaiskaki Stadium or the Khasi
Sorry, lad, I
Stadium?
can't hear you. You're breaking up, mate. Can you move on to the next question? I'm not picking, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, I told you. I thought that one would get you. That's why I put it in there. Score a penalty or score a free kick?
I've never took a free kick, mate. Ever. So a penalty.
Do you think could you fancy yourself on a free kick one day though? Do you reckon you could score one?
Listen, mate. Know your limitations, mate. Know your limitations.
Now I have an even tougher one for you. I don't know if you're going to want to answer this one either. Cyprus or Greece?
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
Cyprus to live, Greece to visit.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a decent, safe answer.
Yeah, that's a safe answer. Nice. So,
Because
chicken euros?
is very expensive.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
true.
Yes. Chicken euros or pork euros?
Chicken, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of people don't. I love chicken euros too, and lots of people look at me funny. So I'm glad to see that someone's on the same page as me. So
Yeah,
thank you.
It's very fatty, man. I'm very lazy when I eat, so I don't want to. I want to chew and swallow. I don't want to go. No.
yeah. Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi.
Yeah, nice.
Ooh.
What you said? Ooh, for mate. Messi.
No, 'cause
Listen, as a
I love Messi.
I agree as well. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Nothing on Derbyshire.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. And Australian beaches or Cypriot beaches?
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
has to be Cyprus. As
That
a
one's
huge,
Cyprus
man.
for sure.
Right.
Yes.
I know
Someone-
it's supposed to be I know it's supposed to be rapid fire here, but I have to tell you a story, right? So we've been living in Cyprus for 4 or 5 years, and we went to Australia, and the beaches in Cyprus are amazing. We went to Australia. We went to Australia. We rocked up with nothing, not a water bottle, not a towel, nothing, mate. So we're going over the sand dunes onto the. Whoa! I'm like going. Where's the sun lounges? Where's the towel? Like, where's the drink, mate? But for that reason alone, I'm gonna say the Cypriot beaches because it's all.
Yeah.
You know, you understand what I'm saying about the Cyprus?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's laid out.
Yeah.
You've got to pull your bloody thing with you, haven't you? I mean,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I love that. I love when I bought it all. I was happy, mate. You know, but Jesus, yeah.
And the problem with our beaches is the sunburn as well.
Yes.
It's
Major
crazy,
issue.
mate. It's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, very strange, but I don't mind it. 10
Do
minutes.
you,
When
do
you're
you
in
remember
Australia-
the beaches? Oh, sorry, Chris.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
was gonna
remember the
ask that
beaches?
next.
Yeah.
In Australia, all your go-to beaches when you were in Sydney,
Oh,
when
God.
you were here.
Well, do you know what I love? And a lot of people don't like Bondi Beach at all.
Yes.
We never went down to the beach. I love Bondi. Don't get me wrong, but we always just sit on the bank and we used to take a little picnic, and then I like take it all in and sit there and have a glass of champagne, whatever with the missus, and we that was our little go-to spot where we could sit right on the bank at the top, and you could see the sea, you could see the beach, and that's what we did.
Yeah. Okay, I've got another one for you. 5-star weak foot or 5-star skills?
5-star weak foot or 5-star
Or 5-star skills. Yes.
I'd say skills, mate.
Yeah, nice. So that brings me on to the next thing now. I've got your FIFA card with me, your best FIFA card. This is your Birmingham City card, your best FIFA card. I want you to guess your stats and your overall rating. So I don't know if you know FIFA. There's pace, shot, pass, dribble, defense, and headers. So those are the stats. Those are the ones you get, and they're out of 99. So it's just based off what you think it would be. And then there's an overall, which is like your best rating, like your main rating. So I'm going to start with pace. What do you think your pace was? This is Birmingham City. So just remember that. This is Birmingham City days.
I'm going to say 76 to 81.
Okay, you got to pick one number.
Well, because I'm on the spot there, aren't I?
You got to pick one number.
76.
Ooh,
All right,
close.
76 for your pace. Okay. No, we're not spoiling yet.
Oh,
Go for
okay,
more,
my bad.
And
My
then
bad.
I'll tell you. Your shooting. What do you think your shooting is?
Oh, it's flames. No, it was. But these are accurate, mate. Let me.
Yeah, I know it's not accurate, but it's just a bit of fun anyway.
67.
All right, 67. All right, I'll write that.
Should
Okay,
be
your
higher.
passing. What do you think your
Come
passing
on.
is?
Oh,
You're the English killer. You got to give yourself some more credit.
passing's terrible, mate. I'm going to say 3. No, I'm going to say passing. Depends what sort of passing it is. Let's go for 48.
All right, 48. Okay, what about your dribbling? What do you think your dribbling was?
My dribbling's terrible, mate. So probably about 38.
All right. Your defense?
Oh, not a bad defender. I think playing in defense is quite easy as well. So I'm going to say 62.
62. All right, I'll write that. And your heading stat?
89.
All right, 89. And your overall, so like your overall rating out of
Overall.
99.
Oh God, it can't be. I'm trying to think. Like, I don't know anything about FIFA. My kids love it.
It's a gold card, if that helps you. It's a gold card, which is good.
It's a gold card.
Yeah, this is your best card. It was a gold
I
card.
got a gold card.
Yeah.
Wow, you have to show me that, mate. You have to send me a picture because my kids won't believe me.
Yeah, I will. No worries.
I'm going to say 84. No, that's way too high. 74.
All right. 74 is a silver card, but that's fine. So I will tell you.
I
your
said
stats.
84, mate, didn't I?
Yeah, but you said that was too high.
All right, okay.
All right, we'll leave it at 74. So your pace, you said 76. They gave you 83.
Wow.
Yeah, you happy with that?
Well, yeah, at that time I was very quick, mate.
Yeah.
Not
Your
anymore.
shooting.
Cool.
Your shooting.
I don't know.
You're a bit low on your shooting. You gave yourself 67. They gave you 72.
Yeah, which I would have given myself, but I'm trying to think what they give me.
Yeah, 72 they gave you. So
Okay.
your passing 48. You said they gave you 57. Yeah.
Nice. See what I've
And
done
your
here, mate?
dribbling.
I played the game here, haven't I?
Yeah. Dribbling, you said 38. They've given you 70 for your dribbling.
70.
Yeah, 70.
They need to be sacked.
Your defense, you put 62. I don't know if you're going to be happy with this. They gave you 53 for your defense.
Alarming that.
And your heading, again, I don't know what they're thinking with this. You said 89. They put 76 for you.
Nah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I
Yeah.
was exaggerating me 89. That's ridiculous.
And your overall was 77. So you're a bit off an 80.
Okay. That's not too bad
So
then.
very decent. That is a very decent card for that FIFA. This is about FIFA 10, FIFA 11 when you're at Birmingham. So it's
That's a
that
gold
was-
card. I've
and it's
never
a gold
seen
card.
that.
You are
Just
you
to
are
send
you
me
are
a
a gold
picture.
card. Yeah, I will show you. Don't worry. And
Yeah.
so now we're gonna talk about Australia because we're Aussie boys. So I'm gonna pass that over to Liam, and he's gonna do his Aussie spiel.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
to end it off, Matt, obviously you spent some time in Australia. I'm actually from Melbourne. The other two boys are from Sydney, so where you stayed with MacArthur, obviously.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk us through a bit about how the move to Australia came and MacArthur? Because obviously at the time, MacArthur was a really new club when you joined them. I think, was it their second season in existence?
First.
Oh, first. There you go.
Yeah.
First season. And what's it called? You obviously played quite well in the A-League. Run us through it a bit. What were your overall thoughts on the league in general?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how it came about. First and foremost, I was in Sydney at the time, and who called me up? Nick Montgomery called me up from Central Coast Mariners.
Okay, yeah, he's the current Central Coast coach. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was the assistant coach back in the day, and he said, "Matty, do you fancy coming playing in Sydney?" I went, "Are you being serious, mate? I'm actually in Sydney now." He went, "Like, no way, are you in Sydney?" I said, "I promise you, mate.
Wow.
I'm in Sydney now." I said, "Come and see us." I had a cup of tea with him, a cup of coffee out about to eat, me and my wife, and I think at that I said to my agent just before, I went, "Mate, you need to get me out here. It's unbelievable." And then I got the phone call like two hours later off him. It was very, very strange how it happened. Very strange. And then in the back of my mind all the time, obviously it didn't happen because one thing or another, the budgets and stuff at Central Coast. But Nick did try a lot, to get me there, which I really appreciate. But then, in the back of my mind, it was always there. And I know Brett Emerton, who I played at Blackburn with, and he was kind of telling me that they've got a new franchise coming in a year or so, 2 years, whatever it were.
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, mate. By that time, my deal will be up at Ammonia. Give us a shout. I'll be coming to the end of my career. That'd be great." and then obviously never thought anything of it. And then obviously they came calling a year and a half down the line, and ended up signing for him.
Yeah. And with your time in the A-League, can you just run us through, because obviously you played at such a high level throughout your career, and obviously the A-League is more of that, well, we don't compare it too much to the European leagues, obviously. What do you think the A-League was like lacking? What's the main difference between European football and Australian football?
I every time everyone asks me about the A-League, mate, I say it's super, super competitive, because it really
Very
is.
physical.
Yeah, it is very physical, but I really, really thought at times, what would I have been there? 35, 34, 35?
Yep.
And I've never run so much in my life than I did in Australia. It was just constantly end to end to end to end to end to end. The transitions. I remember there was transitions, like 110 transitions in one game. It was mental. And we was a passing team as well. So it was just crazy to me. But I'd say the difference is, probably let's compare it from Cyprus, for instance. The Cypriot League, they put the foot on the ball and they calm it down, and they put a lot more passes together before going forward. You know what I mean? Where in the A-League it would be more direct.
Yeah, it is quite a fast build-up in the A-League.
Yeah.
And the games are very high scoring. And the final thing I want to ask you about Australia is the fans. I'm a big Melbourne Victory fan. We like to think that we've got the best fans in the league. Obviously, MacArthur was new, so the Crystal's not happy with that. The fans were quite low while they still are quite low because of the new franchise, and they're trying to build that support. But what were your thoughts playing against those bigger teams like Sydney, Western Sydney, the Melbourne teams, and Adelaide as well? I guess is a big club.
Yeah. No, it was good, mate. It was all a new experience for me. Playing over there. It was a country that everyone spoke English in as well. So that was always a plus. But no, playing in front of the crowds, which obviously something I'm used to doing. But no, it was great, mate, and there was a lot of banter as well in the stands with each other's fans. It was fantastic, mate. I really, honestly, I actually can't say a bad thing about Australia. It was an amazing experience, out of football, in football, family wise, school wise for the kids. Everything was amazing.
Yeah, that's very good to hear. And one more thing as well to ask: did you ever watch Australian football whilst you were here?
Yes, my son absolutely loves it, mate.
Okay, and what are your thoughts on it?
I'm not a big fan, mate. I'm not a big fan, but I obviously like watching when it gets a bit aggressive, like. But but no, my son was a massive fan. And our friend over in Australia would take him and me to the games, sometimes, and he got him to support the Tigers.
Very close to where I'm from.
Yeah, so I know they're not great, and no disrespect to the Tigers, but I know that they're not the other top end teams, but he really got into it, mate, and he loved it.
That's good to hear. Anyways, we'll pass you over to CJ. I think we've got one more question for you to end the interview.
Before we get into that, we got some comments here. Matt, I'm not too sure if you can see them. We got one here. Did you like Melbourne Victory's atmosphere?
So bad, mate. So bad. I'm only joking. I'm joking. No, it was great. Yeah, it was great. Always nice to play in them stadiums and them atmospheres. Very nice.
Another question here. What talents do you like in today's game? Vinicius, Leao, or Foden?
Some very specific names.
Mate, for me, mate, Foden is a phenomenon, mate. He's just I actually when he first burst onto the scene, I love the boy, mate. He's brilliant. He's got everything to be a world class player. He is now, mate, but he's got everything to go on and go on and go on. Oh, here we go, my dogs are here. Yeah, get down.
I wanted to add to that. Sorry, CJ.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Talking about talents, because I know the Cypriot League has a lot of young talents, and I thought it'd be good to ask, who do you think could or deserves to be playing outside of Cyprus that's a young talent at the moment? That's in Cyprus currently.
But there's quite a few actually. Yeah, obviously you got Luizos, who's been highly rated around Cyprus and around Europe at the moment. Obviously didn't get his move, and whether he wanted to go, I don't know what happened there, but he's one that will, if he doesn't stay at Cyprus for the rest of his career at Ammonia, he'll be one to watch out for. But for me as well, another player which I really like is Harlumbus. I'm gonna obviously the two, because I've obviously played with them and I know them quite well. He's got a lot, mate, and I think Louise, no disrespect, but I think he took the shine off Harlumbus's time, really, because obviously Luizos was doing amazingly well, and so was Harlumbus. Not as well as Luizos, so he deserves that absolutely. But I think that he's going to be one for the future, and he's going to be one to watch out for.
And even with Ike, I was going to ask you with Ike Landaga, because you played at Ike as well. Do you think that their project that they're currently on, they've got a lot of young players that I know, like Mama and Andreu. Do you think that their project is going to be good for the future for Ike? Because obviously new stadium, they're rebuilding. Do you think it's looking good for them?
Yeah, they're a very well organised club, and a club that I'm very happy I went to, and they have some very, very good young players. Like Mamas he's playing way beyond his years as a holding midfielder, and he's only going to get better as he gets older. Naum as well is a fantastic talent, and given the opportunity, more minutes and stuff, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, the setup at Ike is fantastic, and to be honest with you, they've always been a well organised club.
Who do you think is going to win the league this year? Think a Ball's going to get it, or is Ike going to catch up to them?
Ike, I hope.
I don't, but
yeah, obviously we want Ammonia to win, but I think
that's happening. Yeah,
they're a bit off it at the moment, quite a few points behind. But I mean, if we'd obviously, if Ammonia can't win it, then let's get Ike to win instead of Apoel.
For obvious reasons. Yeah.
So Matt, one thing I really want to know, obviously now you're back at England, but before we get into that, are there any players out there that still inspire you to play?
Any players out there inspire me to? I mean, obviously you have the likes of Ronaldo and stuff, but I mean, I get inspired by. I get inspired by watching my son play football, and seeing the younger generation look at me as a role model, as you will. I'm 37 in a week's time, 2 weeks time, and still being physically right and still enjoying myself in the dressing room and being happy to go in there day in and day out is something that I hope, on the other hand, that inspires that younger generation to come into the dressing room with a smile on their face and enjoy every moment of it, because it's very, very gone. It's gone very quickly. It's here today and gone tomorrow, mate. Believe me.
We got another question here for you, Matt. Do you still have the same passion for football as you did when you were younger?
I probably have more now than I ever have done. Quite honestly, because I know it's the doors very quickly closing on me, but I'm just literally going in every day and trying to enjoy the best I possibly can and get the most out of every day, and still trying to learn as well from the managing side of things and the coaching side of things. I'm listening and watching, and hopefully one day that could be me.
Yeah. Well, as current time is, you are signed to Bradford City, and you guys have had a pretty good start from what I see. You scored a couple goals. Am I? Yeah.
Well,
How's
go on.
I was just going to say, how did that move happen, and does it feel good to be back home?
Yeah, it's great to be back home, mate. As soon as I heard that my former manager Mark Hughes had got the job, and obviously one of my best mates is playing there as well, Colin Doyle. I knew as soon as I heard he got it, I was like, right, get me there. You know, I loved playing under Mark Hughes. I still do love playing under Mark Hughes. He's a great manager. He's a person that gave me a big opportunity in my football career. Give me my first Premier League start and give me many more after that. And you know, I'll always be thankful for him, and I'll always try and give everything I can for him and the team.
Yeah. And speaking with Christos brought up Birmingham City, obviously. Did you feel you achieved all your goals at Olympiakos while you were there?
No, I don't at all. Not at all, mate. I mean, I did well there, mate. I did well there. I scored goals there, you know, and unfortunately, mate, I got an injury which in some ways could have been fixed quite quickly, but wasn't fixed quite quickly.
Yeah.
And I was out for quite a while. You know, I think it was 7 or 8 months, mate, and it killed me a bit. But obviously, when I got back, I got to score some goals again. But yeah, I decided to move back to England. That was my, that was me that did that. Nobody else. You know, I had 2.5 years left on my deal, but it is what it is, mate. I wanted to go back to the Premier League, which I was able to do, and yeah, that was it. But I never really realised until I left the club maybe what a mistake it was. Leaving Olympiakos at that time, it was a humongous club, and you only realise how big of a club it is when once I left it. But yeah, like you said, I never look back with regrets. But if I had to really say, do you regret anything, it would be probably leaving Olympiakos to go to Birmingham City.
Well, maybe the managerial door opens one day in the future. Like you said, you wanted to coach.
Yeah.
Unfinished business. We'll never know.
Oh, you never know, mate. Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to, like I said to you, I want to start at the bottom and work my way up. So I want to be the best. Like, I wanted to as a player. I wanted to learn everything I possibly could as a player, so I could take that into the first team and do what I need to do there. And it's same as a coach. If I get an opportunity to go and coach the younger generation at Olympiakos, I would jump at it.
We got another question here. We won't keep you for too much longer, Matt. How did you find the challenges about the demands of being a professional footballer, like being away from family, traveling constantly, etc.? And how did you adapt to overcome this?
Well, traveling and stuff, I always travel with my family. Always travel with my family. Every club I've been at, my family's been there, my wife's been there, my kids have been there, so that hasn't been a problem. The only time it was a problem when I left. I left Cyprus and I went to India for 4 months, and it was a disaster, mate. I never it's something I wish I never did, but I did it and I experienced it, and it's ticked off, and it will never happen again. But it's mate, being a professional footballer is one of the best jobs in the world, and always will be for me personally. So yeah, it's never a burden on the family. They get to travel the world and go to different countries and be more educated while I'm doing something I love to do.
Yeah. As far as your playing career goes, do you think the door's open to Australia again, or are you happy to finish everything off in England?
In my playing career?
Yeah.
Cyprus. No, I think my playing career in Australia is definitely up, mate. I'm very, very happy where I am now. Absolutely loving life. Bradford City. Love the dressing room. Love playing there. Love waking up in the morning, going there. So for me, there's no need to move anywhere else, and until I'm pushed out the door, mate.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, good luck for the rest of the season. Obviously, how many games are we into the season now? We're about
quite a few. I think we've got 8 games remaining, mate. So we got 4 points off the automatic promotion. So fingers crossed we can get there.
All the best of it. Going up to the
All the
League One,
best.
correct?
That'd be great.
Good luck.
Yeah, cheers.
We'll definitely be keeping an eye on you. And I just want to say from our perspective, thank you so much for doing this interview with us. We're obviously just a small group of Olympiakos fans who just love football, and we're from Australia. We don't have the biggest following, and we really, really appreciate you coming on. And obviously, it's gotten us a lot of traction. You've seen the comments come through, so thank you so much for doing this.
Thank
You're
you,
more than
Matt.
welcome, lads. Anytime.
Top bloke.
Cheers, lads. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
I'll send
much,
you that
Matt.
FIFA card, Matt. You so I can see.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you, Matt.
Bye, lads. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Alrighty, everyone. Thank you so much for your questions and comments. Thanks for joining in.
We hope you all
Make
enjoyed
sure.
that.
Hope you all enjoyed. Yeah. Hope you all like, subscribe, follow
And,
us on Instagram. Yep.
And final thing, Bama Olympiakos tomorrow against Addis.
Bami Olympiakos, 4 a.m. Let's go.
Take care, guys.
I will be
Good
comfortable
night,
in my
everyone.
bed.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Buenas noches.